Let's start first of all then with some of the more unusual things that happened last night. Big celebrations, of course, here in the capital and around the country. First up, something of an important lesson for the President-elect.
Yes, absolutely. Emmanuel Macron learned something that anyone who works in broadcasting is told right at the very beginning of their career. If you are in a studio and there is a camera or a microphone, always assume that they could be on. Because he was preparing for his speech, the first speech of the evening, and unfortunately for him, many channels were able to actually put this out on air. How much you saw of it will depend on who you were watching, but The Guardian's put together some of the highlights or lowlights, really, of what went on. Now, it could have been much worse.
Well, it could have been so much worse, couldn't it?
Absolutely. But we do have this video from The Guardian which shows you exactly what was going on. He had his makeup applied, he was practicing with his teleprompter, he was rehearsing some of his speech and generally looking a little bit overwhelmed, having a bit of a cough, a bit of a drink, a bit of a sniff, scratch of the eye, and all of this was going out on air in certain places, on certain channels, certainly in the United Kingdom. And then finally he got to the speech, which must have been quite a relief for everyone around there. Now, The Guardian says that's the whole picture, but actually a lot of English speakers missed the best part of this. The best part for us, we're being a little bit cruel.
You've been doing a bit of lip reading.
No, not lip reading. He says it out loud. He says, if I go on all the channels saying this, I will look smart. And then he breaks into a wide grin, and then somebody breaks it to him that he's on air doing it. Now, a Twitter user has very helpfully compiled a little clip, which is brilliantly done. Take a look.
Là, si je passe en ce moment sur toutes les chaînes en disant ça, j'aurais l'air intelligent. Vous n'avez pas ouvert les canaux.
Nous, on l'a ouvert, M. Macron, président.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Oh dear.
So that was the moment he realised that all that had gone before was being broadcast around the world.
You could almost feel the cold sweat, couldn't you? But I guess it would have been too late. He'd already been elected by then anyway. So
but it wasn't what he wanted everyone to remember from his election night. This Twitter user saying that really he needs to learn to manage his TV appearances better. It wasn't the only strange sight, it has to be said. Meanwhile, at the National Front commiseration party, you might say, Marine Le Pen was taking to the dance floor. France 24 was there, got some of the images. We can bring you those now. This was the defeated candidate doing her best to look anything but. And she was dancing to YMCA. Now, it is a little strange, given that she's doing a very old-fashioned rock and roll type dance to it. And I've never once seen anyone dance to YMCA without doing the accompanying movements. But she certainly
doesn't know the moves.
She did her best to look like she was having a whale of a time and had put her election loss behind her. There is already a Twitter account that has been created called @MarineDances2, and that has compiled the many videos from last night, along with a few other things, and it's worth taking a look at if you want to be amused by that sort of thing. Not the only people being amused by events last night, lots of people choosing to actually poke fun at the President of the United States. There is still common sense left in this balmy world. Good job, France, says this Twitter user. Another Twitter user here says, fun fact, this is the first time in history that the President of France will speak better English than the President of America. A little bit harsh there. And this one just says simply French election result reactions. And you've got Barack Obama, who of course endorsed Emmanuel Macron, and Donald Trump grimacing in the foreground. The George Takei, the Star Trek actor who played Mr. Sulu, said this. He's a very staunch anti-Trump campaigner. Congratulations to France, who appear not to have been affected by the effects of the present anomaly in the time-space continuum.
Excellent. The alternative international reactions there. Very good. There was another somewhat odd appearance last night that had a lot of people talking. What was this?
Well, he's one of those people that if you were watching anything last night, you will have spotted him. He is the man in the hat.
Oh, yes. I was wondering, who is this guy?
Exactly. He appeared between the couple during one of the most, what should have been the most solemn, historic moments as they were singing La Marseillaise.
And he really pushed his way in there, didn't he?
He did. No, he says he didn't plan to at all. It wasn't intentional. But a lot of people were asking, who is he? This Twitter user saying, who is the very distinguished man in the hat behind the Macrons? And this Twitter user saying, when you've planned an evening of football and pizza with your mates, and then finally you find yourself next to the new president. Now, it's funny the mention of pizza, because it turns out that Morgan Simon, for it is he in the hat, actually does sell pizza in his hometown of Nantes when he's not campaigning for Emmanuel Macron and En Marche.
He wasn't delivering pizza to the Macrons that night.
No, he has been a big part of the campaign team, and he tweeted this today, a little nod to the famous hat, hashtag Team Casquette, because everyone has been asking, who is the man in the hat?
Excellent. He's got his place in history. Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with MediaWatch. We're taking a short break here on France 24. Stay with us, much more still to come.